To me. I mean, we don't want a president of any party doing something unilaterally that should be done by Congress. This is up to Congress to change it. What they're doing, I mean, I understand that it's highly fraught with emotion. When we see little kids, see these images of little kids in detention centers, I think it tears at all of our heartstrings. But to be honest, Emerald, I look at Democrats and I see them using this emotion to try to push their agenda. I see them using these children as pawns. The solution to this is to pass a piece of legislation that funds Border Patrol, allows them to build facilities that house family units as a whole, and to secure our borders. It's not that difficult of a problem to solve.
Well, and you speak to exactly where the administration is standing with this. Like you said, nobody thinks this is a great situation, but the administration is saying, look, we're not going to do this piecemeal. You're not going to goad us, as they say that the Democrats are trying to do with this imaging, is to goad us into passing a single piece of this that would allow the family units to stay together under the law, not just ignoring the law, but actually change the law without doing a full package. Saying that what the president is looking for is a full fix so that this issue or the issue of DACA recipients like we have now does not come up in the future. The administration is looking for one of those two bills to pass. Even DHS Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen saying that they support those two legislations that could go through Congress this week, one being the Goodlatte bill, the other being the compromise bill by moderate Republicans, is saying that a fix like that would fix the situation of children detainees without their families. Liz?
Right, and I think too. I think too. This is from Rich Lowry at the National Review. You know, he wrote about this in detail. He wrote about the policy. He said, and I quote here, "Separation happens only if officials find that the adult is falsely claiming to be the child's parent, or is a threat to the child, or is put into criminal proceedings." And I think liberals are purposely missing the point here. And I know this is an opinion that sets liberals, that just sets them off, throws them into a tizzy here. But the fact of the matter is, the parents of these children, or the people posing as the parents of these children, are putting the children into this position by breaking the law. The children are the innocent pawns here, but their parents have a choice not to break the law, and it shouldn't require that we sacrifice our border security because the parents, the illegal aliens, are using their children in this way.
Exactly, and well, it also incentivizes, as Kirstjen Nielsen said, smugglers bringing children across the borders with them in order to gain entry. So it does allow children to be used as pawns in other ways, not for political messaging, but actually for human trafficking as smugglers. And that's what Nielsen was really trying to drive home in talking to reporters today, because of course, most of the outlets that were in that briefing room today have been showing imaging. In fact, Liz, right behind me today was a reporter standing there, and she put on the sounds of the children as the briefing was going on, purposefully try to get at the DHS secretary. So the administration is saying, look, and also Nielsen brought up a very interesting statistic saying that fraudulent adult-child crossings have upped by 300%.
Right.
So adults bringing children claiming it to be a family unit when it's not. So that's something that the administration wants to keep from happening because, of course, that's more dangerous for these children than being separated, just separated from their parents. It's being used by bad people.
Right.
Liz?
Right, and that's why it seems like selective outrage. Not that the emotion, not that I would, accuse anyone of having insincere emotion here, but that's why the outrage to me is selective. Because the reason that these fraudulent crossings, where an illegal alien brings a child who's not his actual child and pretends that they're a family unit, the reason that they're doing that is because the Obama administration's policy of catch and release allowed them to basically go free if they had a child with them. And if Democrats had cared about children at that time, they would have called that policy out at that time. And in the same, I don't know the name of the reporter. I don't want to get into a squabble with that reporter, but if these liberals that are so outraged, accusing Republicans of, being malicious monsters for supporting a policy like this, if they had cared about children and cared about the separation of children from their parents, they would have called out this policy under President Obama, because it was happening then too. And we didn't hear any outrage, which is why it's basically why I levy the accusation that they're using these kids as pawns, because it's not consistent and it contradicts. Emerald, we're out of time, but thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thanks, Liz. Great to see you.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. A new study the mainstream media refuses to cover because of the bombshell results that shows of police-involved shootings in 2015 and 2016, there's no evidence of racism or anti-black disparities in the fatal shootings. We're going to show you the numbers and the proof shortly. Plus, comedian Kathy Griffin, we still have to call her a comedian, unleashes a profanity-laced tirade against First Lady Melania Trump. Call a complicit piece of the S word in regards to immigration. Why the left are big fat hypocrites. Coming up next.